Aviation Day at the Capitol. It marked a time to recognize the many facets of aviation in Kansas, with a call to celebrate from Governor Sam Brownback.
What you're doing is fascinating. We want to do everything we can in the state of Kansas to grow the aviation industry, to continue to be the capital of aviation for the world. I know Wichita is now and will remain and will be in the future the aviation capital of the world, and I want Kansas to be that capital too.
From Kansas Secretary of Transportation Mike King, reaffirmation of KDOT's support for airport improvements and the performance of the state's aviation system.
We have a lot of good things going on in aviation in the Department of Transportation. On my desk I have projects for what would be our calendar year 2016 projects for the airports around the state. We're going to fund those. We're going to fund those at the appropriate level and make sure that we can get that air ambulance service as close to an accident scene as we can. We have almost 90% of the state now that's served by fixed wing, twin-engine aircraft that can land. And we're going to get that above 90% in the next couple of years.
Aviation Day at the Capitol was attended by 130 industry representatives, with 22 companies present as exhibitors, and all of them meeting around 100 legislators. Afterwards, KDOT Director of Aviation Jesse Romo reflected on the core role of airports and the vital importance of state and local airport support.
Airports are so important to the aviation industry and our economy. You know, we have 138 public use airports in the state of Kansas that in aggregate contribute over $10 billion to the state's economy. They are the front doors to people's community. They are a business enterprise, not just a public infrastructure. It has been our core function to help out with those airports. That's why we have a public use general aviation airport development fund that dedicates monies for those purposes. We work hand in hand with the FAA in helping plan out capital improvement projects for these airports. And when you look at all the things that we do in the industry, they all go through airports. We manufacture planes in Kansas. They have to have a place to land. Aerial applicators launch their operations from airports all around the state. Area ambulance providers, they get into rural communities by access through their airport. So it's an extremely important link to so many things. We had a great showing, a great event. So many legislators came out to hear the good messages of what's going on across our industry. And that's what we really want to do. With this event, we set it up to be a networking opportunity, and that's why we had to set up in the way that we did, not with chairs for lecturing and for speech giving, but for folks to have an opportunity to have one-on-one time. The governor came down, spoke with each company one-on-one. They were able to show them different products, talk about different initiatives. I think that's really important for not only the governor, but also the legislators to hear.
The voice of communities is also heard on public safety, a demand that Missy Knott of Life Team in Newton meets with personal care and concern to help get 100% of Kansas covered by air ambulance.
What's so important is being able to let those communities know that there are more services and resources out there available to those communities, because right now those communities are finding a workaround. They might have to load that patient in a ground ambulance and drive them for 50 minutes to a facility that we can actually land at to take that patient out of that community. And that's a workaround. And if we can keep improving those services and those resources available to those airports, we'll have it to 100% soon. I fully believe that.
Life Team represents one area where today's next generation of pilots could go to work, some getting their training done at Dodge City Community College. And that's where Rhonda Weil has a partnership in place with Universal Helicopters.
They can go into teaching. A lot of them are flight instructors, and they continue that. Some of them go on and they become tourism. They work in the flight for life areas that a lot of communities have. They will also go into the different petroleum aspects of flying, people back and forth to the different oil rigs. So, and some people actually are using them now for crop dusters. So there's a lot of different opportunities out there for our flight instructors.
Thousands of Kansans go to work in aviation, generating $7 billion of economic impact from manufacturing, $10 billion overall by way of airports and related services. Just as Robert Grace of Grace Aviation explains about agricultural aviation.
The Kansas Ag Aviation Association wants people to know that we're not only involved in aviation, but we're also involved in agriculture, and those are two major industries in Kansas. And this is our chance to kind of remind people that that's what we do, that we help farmers grow food.
Aviation Day at the Capitol is now on a flight plan to be an annual event thanks to its 2015 success and the partnership of KDOT Aviation and the Kansas Commission on Aerospace Education, headed by Brian Youngers.
The Aviation Day at the Capitol is a chance for industry to meet with legislators and, like I said, give out their opinions on what they need and what their desires are for the legislators to help them with their different aspects of the industry, whereas the Fly Kansas Air Tour is more of a direct grassroots effort, like you referred to it as, of education. So that's where we actually go out with industry, and we go out to the different areas of the state of Kansas, and we go directly to the students, whether that's in schools or with after-school groups like Scouts, and we take the aviation industry to them and give them a chance to see how they can be a part of aviation, whether it's as a career choice or just as a hobby. And so we're showing them the different facets of the industry and what they can do.
From aircraft and avionics manufacturing to training, public service, and future promise, Kansas Aviation has it all.